I'll get to you and call on you when it's your turn. We'll start with Jeff and then we'll go Mike.
Tony, it's been a long time since your guys have put together that kind of defensive effort from start to finish. What was the difference tonight?
Well, we really challenged them to, on the front end and the back end to be as close to great as you can be, and meaning that we said everything you got to make them play against a set defense. I mean, that's what a coach says every time: get back, set your D, but you got to be as good as you've been on the front end because Louisville's so potent when they get out and go. And then we said, and then on the back end, we talked about being a one-and-done team. For us, rebounding the ball, be great with your blockouts, pursue everybody, gang, rebound. If you can do that and then do the stuff in between, just being sound with ball screen defense, trapping the post, that's where it's got to start. But it was our most complete game, and the guys didn't get stretched. And of course, Louisville, they didn't shoot it well, and they missed some shots. I think sometimes we had a hand in that, but at times they missed some, and we were complete on both ends of the floor.
Anthony had a good game, but it seemed like he took a lot of contact in the paint, and he took 2 free throws. What did you see in terms of defense on Anthony Gill?
We know we needed him to, get catches. The guys had to be freed up to play offensively. It's such a hard matchup zone. I don't know if they're still leading the country in field goal percentage. So we just said the perimeter guys have to be able to make some plays, and so will the bigs, and they have to have some freedom to get it with a little bit of movement. And it's a physical game. I have to watch the tape and see. So.
And Tony, could you talk about the effect of that game the other night? You win the game. Obviously, your guys are happy, but was it a good teaching moment for you because of the defense?
We've had a lot of teaching moments because of the defense this year, to be honest. I told them before the game, and I thought it was important. I said, you can do this. I said, now will you? I don't know. I said, but you can, and you have in the past played a team like this in this kind of setting and performed and been right. And I said, but will you? And I said, you got to know first you can. I said, don't ever forget that. And they did. That's what they did. They did in the first half. And I said at halftime, okay, you did it for 20. Will you try to do it again? You're capable. And I think defense is a hard one to figure out for us. I mean, it takes such a commitment to it. That's why I said be freed up to play offensively and everything you got to play against this team. And certainly they had our respect, as do all teams, but you had to be right, or we know what happens to teams in here.
Second row on the right.
What was the specific game plan against Damian Lee?
Just make them earn. I mean, we were going to just, play our ball screens, really do what we do, and fight and bother his shots. And, we talked about jamming or packing the lane and playing. Really, it's what we always do. If a guy really gets rolling, maybe you pay a little more attention to him, but he's going to have to earn. I said if they beat us with contested outside threes, okay, and we can always adjust, but not inside out. And I thought we were pretty decent that way.
On the right.
Understanding you played great in the last minute and 40 seconds at Wake, a little bit fortunate at the end. Today, you dominate from start to finish. Do you feel like you've cured some of the ills on the road in the ACC?
It's a great league. I don't know. We did it today. We can do it again. We'll see. I said, will we? That's too hard to say that. To ever assume, we got this, we're good, that'd be a big mistake. But for them to know this is a blueprint and how you got to be defensively, and you'll see different kinds of teams with different strengths and weaknesses. But you certainly say, okay, that was there. That was a complete game on both ends. You're capable. Now let's continue on. And so fortunate against Wake Forest. I still can't believe how that played out, but you take it. And then we prepared well for this. And Louisville wasn't at their best. I know their big kid was sick. They got in foul trouble. A lot of things, but I'm not going to take anything away from how our guys competed on both ends.
Coach.
Oh, sorry.
You were one of the first teams that was able to expose Louisville's matchup zone defense. You didn't do quite a bit of dribbling. What did you all practice the week of the game to be prepared to move the ball and the isolations that you wanted? Yeah,
I think you have to, as I said, your guys have to be freed up to play. If you get stiff against that zone, well, then they eat you up. And you have to have the ability to make some plays, to attack when they're there. You have to move it a little bit and shift it. And our guys did a good job. It was nothing earth-shattering. It wasn't this, where I out-strategized the zone or anything like that. No, our guys just played. They moved the ball. We had guards pretty much take care of it. Probably had a few too many turnovers. But there was good spacing, good ball movement, and then the guys played and attacked. And that's what we talked about. Sometimes you try to run this perfect pattern routine. You can't. Not against that kind of defense. I've seen it now up close and personal. It's my third time, and we were right today with it.
how surprised are you, not to win here, but to win a game that, was never really in doubt, even in the second half? I mean, you were in control from...
Yeah, I mean, we played well. Yeah, I mean, I thought we're going to have to play really well to be in this thing, and we just got off to such a good start and kept playing. And again, they were a little off, and coach has, I guess there's some young guys and experience, and sometimes that can happen when you're in that setting. But he's done a terrific job. This team, watching them, I was so impressed. I don't know if I've watched more game films of teams we've played than this team, and I just, their play at the rim defensively, and again, a lot of things, and today just wasn't quite their day.
How much does shooting 58% enable you to set up your defense?
It's a ton, yeah. They're taking it out of the net so you can get back and get your defense set. A set defense was key. Always is. That never changes, but you had to, because they will get it out and go. And when they did miss, we did a pretty good job. At times, I thought we got on the edge, and I had some of our staff on the bench watching a few things that we look at. And, I mean, I probably reminded them, to be conservative 7 or 8 times in timeout, saying, understand, you got to refocus on how quickly you have to get back and get your defense set. But yeah, when it's going through the net or anything like that, it makes it easier.
This can be a very difficult place for opposing teams to play. And for the most part, I don't think you guys got rattled today. How much does just the collective experience of Malcolm, AJ, London, Toby,
There's no substitute for that. There is no substitute for experience. And last year, just the environment last year was incredible. And when I went through the handshake line, is it Mathiang? Is that how you pronounce it? And I shook his hand. I said, I remember you doing that to us last year. You hit that shot, and just the noise and the intensity we didn't really let the crowd probably become a factor. And I think that was important. You could tell there were moments they wanted to explode, but for the most part, we didn't let them get to that, and I think that's important. And had it gotten wild, you got to play through it, but that can get you scrambled a little bit up here when it gets like that.
Mike, and then we'll take one more.
I know you say every game that you're still searching for your rotations and your lineups. What was the thought process behind Wilkins and the smaller lineup?
Yeah, I thought, I have been searching, and he couldn't play against Wake Forest. He had a virus or was sick. I mean, played 15 minutes, but he was really gasping for air. And I just decided his mobility on ball screens, again, I just thought, let's try to get off to something different. And I was nervous because this is a team that rebounds so well and we're a little smaller, but he did the job. And also the zone offense, he's a little more handy and mobile than Jack, who had been starting to be able to get some catches and high lows and stretch it with the defense. And I thought you had to have a little bit of mobility with the attack that we were going to run against this zone. We couldn't be just plant guys on one spot, and that would not have favored offensively Jack like it would. And then I just got a rotation. I thought, again, Nolte's feel, experience, skill, with Mike, those 4 on the perimeter, and then our 5. Those 4 on the interior and our 5 perimeter guys. Good.
Coach, it seemed like you guys have played a more up-tempo style this year, but in this game, especially in the second half, you were able to maybe run the shot clock down to about 10 seconds and still get a really good look. Was that a strategic thing that you guys did in the second half? You can't score, and the only time you can score on them quick is if there's an opportunity in transition, a turnover or something, you get down the floor, and a lot of teams will try to get those. We had a couple of those, but when they're playing their defense right, when we're playing our defense right, you should not be able to come down and get a quick shot. If you do, then your defense, what's it worth? And we couldn't. You have to move them. You have to rotate it. And that was the case. So we couldn't get early shots. Not that we early in transition. And then we had to shift and move them and attack. And, sometimes that's how we have to play against them. Not everyone, but I knew that was important for us in this game. Thank you.